It is now time for the Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good Monday morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters out there. Welcome. I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, and thanks so much for joining me. I hope you absolutely had just a fantastic weekend. You know, it is marvelous Monday, and hopefully you're off to a great start of your day. If you're not, you should be, folks, and I really do appreciate you joining us, listening to us on the radio and all of our new affiliates around the country. And if you are listening to us, folks, and you're near your computer or maybe it's your mobile device, you can watch us on TigerTV. Would love you to go to the homepage at TFNN.com. Click on the Tiger TV button. You'll be able to take a look at my charts. I'm going to teach you something. I'm absolutely going to teach you about sacred geometry right off the bat this morning. That's our 0.618, our 0.786, and 0.382 retracements, and then our expansions in life. You expand, folks. Believe it or not, you expand at 1.272 or 1.618. It happens all the time, happens in these markets. You don't have to be afraid of these charts. We can absolutely teach you how to read these, how to understand why charts are doing what they're doing on any time frame. And so just go over to the homepage at TFN.com and check that out. Again, hope everybody had a great weekend. It was certainly a fun week last week for me, not only just doing the morning show that we kicked off, but then obviously having to fly solo for the Money Masters. Well, that changes today. Tom is back in town and, totally rested, I'm sure. Although I haven't seen him yet this morning because I arrived at the studio a little bit late and just had to get things set up. But I'm sure, we're going to see a little bit of sunshine or tan, if you will, on Mr. O'Brien, and it's going to be great to have him back here, as I'm sure you'll agree. And then a great lineup, as we always have on Mondays. Following the Money Master show, we've got Basil Chapman, then Larry Pesavento from 12 to 1. David White is the warm-up band. Had an absolutely fantastic fun time with David on the Friday afternoon show, the 5 to 6 o'clock show. Hope you had a chance to catch that show as well. And then Tom O'Brien, obviously, from 4 to 6. So, quick tool around the markets. You got the futures are trading down slightly. Dow futures down maybe about 18 or so. S&P's off a couple of points. NASDAQ down less than a point right now. The small caps leading the charge on the way down about 3 points. King dollar up 3 ticks. You've got gold trading out at $16.56. That's up 30 cents. Silver off 8 pennies out at $32.52. Light sweet crude trading up at $107.85. I had to buy some oil over the weekend, and my car takes that fully synthetic oil, and my goodness, has the price of that stuff jumped. I guess I should have thought about that. I should have gone over to Costco and loaded up a while back, taking a look at the charts out there. But it's not cheap. That's light sweet crude. Our call number is 877-927-6648. Now, folks, I had a lot of great emails over the weekend. And you, too, you can always email me, steve@tfnn.com. And what I talked about last week, or towards the end of last week, in fact, it was on Friday, was about simply, racks, random acts of kindness. And just simply asked folks to, go out there and do something for somebody else. It's always so great to be able to do something for somebody else. My favorite thing to do, folks, and you should give this a shot if you haven't done it, is when you're at a restaurant, if you see someone in uniform, go buy them dinner. But don't, do it anonymously. It's easy. Just go find the manager, tell them what it is you want to do, have them bring you the bill, tell them you want to do it anonymously, because that's a random act of kindness, folks. You just simply want to be able to give. Some folks sent me emails, said they actually did that. Had some other folks that just did a number of great things out there. Hopefully you've done it as well. If not, if you didn't get it, and you should do it every day of your life, but certainly go ahead and make sure that you've got that scheduled this week. Why, folks? Because what's talked about is a dream, and what is envisioned is exciting. Talk about envisioning things. We're going to get that favorite spot of mine probably over my left-hand shoulder here any moment. That is my place of strength. And so, what's talked about is a dream. What's envisioned is exciting, folks. But what's planned, folks, what's planned is possible. And I'm all about helping you to be able to make the impossible possible. And the easiest way to do that, folks, that's called schedule it. Had a number of folks that have shown some additional interest in joining us over at the Master Trader Series courses that I'm going to be doing. The first one comes up this Friday and Saturday. It's in Denver, folks. Go to the homepage at tfnn.com and check that out. You get 3 months of my newsletter service, You'll also get a live workshop that'll be archived from Tom. You're going to get me for 2 full days. And, you know, folks, I'm like the ever-ready bunny. So it's not me that's going to be quitting early. It's going to be when the last student says we're going to turn the lights out and go home, if you will. So you got me for 2 full days. That's in Denver. That's the 23rd and 24th of this week. Then I'll be back and we'll be doing the Tampa Master Trader Series here in our offices. That's going to be on Friday and Saturday as well. That's going to be April 13th and 14th. Then I'll be up in Boston and April 27th and 28th. Of course, you know, it seems like it is summer all around the world. It's certainly summer in Apple. They announced today that they are going to be providing a $2.65 dividend, and they are going to go ahead and be buying back $10 billion worth of stock. And if I take a quick peek here, see what Apple is doing in the pre-market right now, trading out, the bid is $594.64, ask $594.75. So it's trading out right there really at that $595 range. What did it close at? Closed at $585. So trading up by $10 right now. And, you know, we'll take a look and see if Apple's going to continue to go to the moon. And one of the problems with Apple going to, well, like the problem is, especially if you are trading some of the ETF weighted indexes, that being the SPYs, because of the weighting that Apple's got in there. More so the Qs than anything else, the NDX 100, because of the weighting that Apple's got there. And if Apple does decide at some point in time to do some type of retracement, whatever that might be, folks, you know, that is going to take those indexes and create a little bit of punishment there. You know, if we go over to my screen right now, we're taking a look at the S&P futures right now, the ES Mini. This is the 30-minute chart out here, and I mentioned that I was going to teach you something. Let's do it right off the bat. Teach you something about sacred geometry and how it works on all time frames. So this is, again, folks, this is the 30-minute time frame, and I want you to notice really where the price, as it was moving down this morning, and when I say moving down this morning, I'm talking about coming into the 5 a.m. time frame. Again, this is a 30-minute chart, so this would be from 4:31 to 5 a.m., and the price that it got down to, the low was $13.93.50. Now, what you want to do is, whether you have, I've got an automation tool here that just simply automatically is tracking the swing point retracements and expansions, but you can do this on your own because most charting software packages have a retracement tool. The ones I want you to be able to turn on are the 382, 618, 786. Maybe you can't turn them off. Make sure that those are at least on there because some of them will use a 0.50, and nothing wrong with that. It's just simply not one that I use to trade off of other than be aware of it when a market may only retrace to those areas. But here we're looking at the Fibonacci summation index series, I should say, and we're looking at 0.618. Well, 0.618, when you take a look at the most recent significant swing point out there, you can clearly see, or in my mind, I can clearly see, and I want to be able to teach that to you. That would be the swing point at 10 a.m. on March the 15th. Seems like so long ago. And at 10 a.m. on March the 15th, the low there was 1387.25. That 1387.25, all of a sudden the market moved up from there. And so what the ES Mini did this morning at 5 a.m. was it did a 0.618 retracement down to that 1393.50. Now, I'll go ahead and take my Fibonacci ruler, if you will, and I will go ahead, and in fact, I was accused of not saying if you will too often. And so I've got to watch, you know, so, and if you see some of my idiosyncrasies, there we go. Oh, I caught myself. You know, you can just send me an email too, and I will do the best I can to change it. Now, the actual 0.618, folks, would have come out to 1393.17. Where it got down to was 1393.50. That is close enough for our type of work. We're not looking for the exact number. Oftentimes, the exact number is hit, but that should just be more of like a how the heck does this work, as opposed to waiting for that exact number in order to be able to enter a trade. Now, I'm not suggesting that you enter a trade here. What I want you to be able to understand is from a price falling standpoint, and let's say that you were long, that you carried the contract over the weekend, and you woke up this morning at about 5 o'clock, and you saw that the price was falling. What you should have had was a little bit of comfort to know that you were coming up against a 0.618 retracement. But just as much, folks, you can also take a look at there is a 1.272 expansion off of a swing point. That's at 10:30 a.m. That low out there was 1395.50. Now, when it's a 1.272 expansion, folks, it's from the low of the swing point up to the high that was put in. That high put in at 2100, so that would be, 9 p.m. That was on March the 18th. So if you go from that swing point low to that swing point high, you take that dollar difference, if you will, multiply that times 1.272, and then what you would do is you would subtract that from the high being 1450. It would get you right down in this range. And if you are long or short, you want to just simply be aware of those areas. Now, what's real key is what's the retracement once you come down, this case here, once you come down to a support level. Let's go see what retracement was done, especially after the Apple announcement that was out there. What other great news could there possibly be other than Apple willing to give you back some of its money, or it could be your money, if you will. There it goes, that if you will again. Folks, it's only done a 0.382 retracement. That says to me, lower prices coming this morning. Just a retracement, 877-927-6648. We'll be right back, folks.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X-Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X-Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X-Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent over $60 million to date on drilling and engineering. The ultimate size of its Argentina discovery could be determined by year-end, as results from the 6 drills operating at the site are fully assessed. To find out more about X-Story Gold Mines and their exciting growth potential, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex under the symbol XG.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. Would love to hear from you this morning as we take a quick tour around the world. You've got the DAX off 42 points. Let's go see what they're doing over in Germany as we go take a look around. You've also got the FTSE trading down 21 points. So we'll take a look at the DAX here. Now, the DAX, the DAX is really trying to get up into, well, let's take a look at the retracement that it has done off of the highs going back to July in 2011, July 8th, 2011. We're looking at the daily chart, and what we can see on the DAX is the DAX is over the 0.786 area. That 786 area in the 69.76, you're trading out at 71.15. Now, what I want to show you, though, is as the DAX was getting up towards this 1 to 1.272, A to B equals C to D, that would be 72.56. What it actually got up to on Friday was 71.94. So off about 60 points or so. But what I want you to do is I want you to understand that candle formations are really important to understand out there. And some candle formations more important than others. You've got bullish and bearish engulfing candles. You've got hammer candles, which are some of my favorite because they are the most, both those two, but certainly the hammer candle is really helpful in understanding when a market is making bottoms. Well, if you just simply flip the chart around, what you will get is a shooting star. It's really an upside down hammer, if you will. Now, they tend to work better at the bottoms, but what you can take a look at in the DAX, as it was making its high on Friday, it had a shooting star formation. So, depending on what type of trader you are, and maybe it's just a matter of, you've got some locked-in profits. What I can tell you is that when you see a hammer candle like this, and you get a close below, in this case here, the low of the session on Friday was 71.42.75. If I were inside the DAX, trading the DAX, and I got a close below 71.42.75, now the DAX used to close at 11:30, but when we sprang ahead, I think that means that the DAX is closing at 12:30. Somebody out there do the math for me. So I think the DAX actually closes now during Larry's show on Monday versus Basil's show, because they don't go on daylight savings time over there. At least I don't believe that they do. And so now there's a 6-hour time zone difference. So in this case here, the DAX, if you will, there we go again, if you will, the DAX, if you do get a close below Friday's low, and that, folks, is a shooting star, that's where I would go ahead and I would simply take my profits off the table if you had profits. Certainly, I would make sure that I would have some type of trailing stop. But when you do close below that, just like a hammer, when you close above it, you are likely going to trade to some type of retracement level. In this case here, if you take a look at the DAX, where would that trade to? Well, it would at least trade to that 0.382. I mean, that is just the absolute, minimum, normal, nothing wrong with it. That would take the DAX into the 69.72 range. Again, you're trading out at 71.14. Let's go take a look at the FTSE out there. The FTSE, take a look at its candle pattern, see if there was anything out there giving any clues. And if we take a look at the FTSE, no, there wasn't. What I do show here is I do show on the FTSE that the FTSE was actually not as strong as the DAX on its ascent up. I just simply was showing just this real short-term trend line coming off the lows from March the 7th. And as it was making its way up, it came back through that area on March the 15th, whereas in the case of the DAX, if we go take a look at the DAX, I know I deleted that line this morning. The DAX didn't break that until this morning, and so the DAX had a really strong ascent, and you do want to be aware of these moves here, even if they are just simply from a short-term standpoint. So you can see on the DAX here, you can see this trend line, close just below it, right on the line, really. on March the 16th. This morning, though, clearly breaking that area. And the DAX seeking out some lower price, but it was giving us the signals that that's what it was going to do. You had the Hang Seng off 200 points. Let's go take a quick look at the Hang Seng out there. Hang Seng, and for it to be down 200 points, not really a huge deal out there. Hang Seng just doing a retracement right here off of its most recent run up. And again, we just take a look at that run up. That was started here on March the 7th, and just as our markets were. And what you can see here is it broke through that on Friday. Now what it's doing is just simply a retracement. I don't have the volumes on this, but if we just simply a normal area, we talked about 0.382. Look at how this thing really crushed through that 0.382 area in its overnight trading while we were sleeping. Hopefully you were warm, snuggling in bed. What the Hang Seng is doing, it's going to try to make its way down into the 29.48 range. If it does that with another wide-ranging bar, what it's saying it wants to do is come back and test the swing point from March the 7th. The high out there, 27.32, also happens to be the 0.786 retracement. 877-927-6648. We got the NASDAQ futures up 3. The Dow futures down 13. King dollar up 3 pennies. We'll be right back, folks.
In the world of financial markets, there's a new player in town with an exciting new way to trade the markets. Nadex now offers binary options as well as bull spreads in a wide range of indices along with commodity and forex markets. With as little as $100, you can gain access to a new way to trade global financial markets while guaranteeing that your risk will always be capped. Nadex allows you to multiply your trading opportunities in ways never imagined before and access markets you once thought were out of reach. With short-term trading opportunities available, including binary options expiring each hour the market is open, Nadex allows you to take advantage of a variety of market conditions regardless of volatility or market direction. Now is the time to take advantage of this exciting new market. Don't let this trading opportunity pass you by. Open your account today by clicking on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Nadex, a better way to trade.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this trader's market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to TFNN.com under newsletter. Hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
To the races. You've got the Dow down 12 points. S&P's off 1. Composite off 2. Small caps down 1.5. Lead the charge down 0.18%. Not much of a charge, if you will. Apple. You've got Apple trading up $8 out at $5.94. Cisco off 6 cents down at $19.97. Google off $3, trading out at $6.21. Intel off 12 cents at $27.61. Our call number is 877-927-6648. Let's take a look at some of the movers and some of the groovers out there. Moving, you've got AboveNet, ABVT. They're up $10. That's up 13%. We'll certainly take a look at that. Apple up 1%, up $7, as I say. Domino's Pizza. Looks like they are getting ready for March Madness. How about March Madness? How about that Duke team, folks? Boy, they screwed up my bracket for sure, because I had Duke going all the way to the finals. So wasn't a real happy camper seeing Duke lose out in their opener. You've got Domino's Pizza. They're selling a lot of pies. They're up $2.24. The ticker symbol on that, DPZ. You've got Devon Energy, DVN. They're up 1.5%, trading up $1 out at $74.80. UPS, United Parcel Service. United Parcel Service, folks, back in 1907, they bought 40 of the first 700 trucks that Ford had coming off the assembly line. Pretty cool story about UPS. Nike, they are trading up 77 cents. They're out at $111.96. Chevron up 58 ticks. United States Steel, X, the ticker symbol, they're up 89 cents. FedEx is up 60 cents. Those are the movers. Now the groovers on the way down. You've got Kohl's Corp, KSS. They're down $1.40. That's down 2.5%. Bed Bath & Beyond. Apparently, you folks aren't buying enough soaps and suds. Of course, they sell, I know, much more than that. You've got IBM trading down 76 cents. Fusion IO, they're trading down 88 cents. Sohu down 78. Medco Health, Amazon down 0.38. So not a lot on the way up, not a lot on the way down. And you got the Dow off 17 points. What I do have up on my screen here is the Apple chart. Just simply taking a look to see what the volume was doing at the open with Apple announcing their $10 billion buyback and the annual dividend at $2.65. Also, I see that the Mets owners have agreed to pay $162 million. That is in the settlement. That's with some of the Bernie Madoff funds. I don't know how much of a percentage, if that's all that they were after, but they did settle that for $162 million. So good to have that done. As I said, I do have the Apple chart up on my screen here. You can see when it gapped up this morning, did that with 645,000 shares. Then in the now that's in a 1 minute time frame. Since we're only 7 minutes at a time into our time slot, just simply showing the 1 minute chart that is out there. You then came down with 293,000, then 390. If you will, then bounce back up with 331. Let's go ahead and change this just simply to a 5 minute chart. Just take a look at any other volume bars that are out there. What you can see with Apple is Apple should have some pretty decent support right there on that high volume bar at 935 going back to Friday. The high there, 585.38. The low of 580.55. That area has not been hit yet. Don't know if it will be hit, but that would be their first area of support, would be in that high volume bar out there. The next one that you'd be looking at. And when it made a high, just taking a look at the 5-minute chart, the high on Apple came in on March the 15th. The high out there was also at the open in that first 5 minutes. That open was with 2.6 million shares, got up to $600.01. That was on Friday. You're trading inside that bar here right now, or you did during the first opening session. So again, you had 2.6 million shares, and going into it and rejecting that area. Let's see if we rejected it. The low on that 5-minute bar, going back to Friday, was 593.50. Where did you close at? You closed at 594.12. So you're trading inside there with 1.8 million shares. Still not enough juice to get up and over, but a long trading session ahead. So let's go take a look at the movers and the groovers out there. Where's my show up? There we go. Show up. That's what I've named. That's what I named that set of charts, because it's during the show and these are trading up. Let's go see how ABVT, that is Above Net Inc., see if there's any news on Above Net Inc., why they're trading up 13%. Nope. Buyout or above net investigated by Tripp. So just a looks like a rumor out there on above net. You've got some pretty good rumor volume coming in there. Take a look at that volume just in the first 9 minutes of trading today, folks. You've got a total of 1.5 million shares in there. Last time it had any real volume was back in July 2011 with 1.1 million shares. That was for the entire day. So this little puppy has got some juice in it. Let's go see what it's trying to take on. Now, first, let's take a look at the swing point out there. And the swing point that we're looking at is going to be going back to May 31st, 2011. Let me get my line tool out here. Let's go take a look at the bottom of that area so that we can draw that over the side. We'll take a look at the volume there, because that is where it is headed. And the volume there, you can see today you already have volume exceeding what you did on that day. That day, again, being May 31st. The volume you had on May 31st was 859,000 shares. And, of course, you have had no problem surpassing that in the first 10 minutes of trading. But most certainly, more likely, this is the first 10 minutes of trading. We just got to 9:40 a.m. So that is where above net is headed. If it closes inside there, again, the low 75.01, what it wants to do is at least get up to the 78.07 mark. If we take a look at see what other patterns there might be out there. What else might this be doing? So I would take it, above its all-time highs if it can. It's got the juice if it can get up above 78.07. So if you can do that, then what kind of pattern is this thing setting up? Well, if we just take a look at any possible ABCs that this might have, I'd go back into the September 22nd area. That would be my first A point. My B point would be the high made on November 3rd. It then does a retracement, looks like about a 0.618 retracement. And what it does is it does a 1 to 1.618, A to B equals C to D. And if you own the art of timing the trade, you know, I'll have to go find out what page that's on, but you know when you do a 1 to 1.618, A to B equals C to D, you do something else. And again, when you take a look at the retracement on this, it did about between a 0.618 and a 0.786. Now, what's so important, folks, and I do teach this to you, I'll certainly be teaching this during my Master Trader course and how to trade it, but if you take a look at the C to D leg that's made here, and you take a look at price, how price is moving along that C to D leg, in this case here, gave us a clear, let me just go ahead and clean this up just a bit here. Look at this. It gave us a clear and decisive communication that it was going to do more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals C to D. Steve, how can you say that? Well, just take a look as it comes off at C point. Does it with a little bit of a gap here. Then we've got, gap number 2, if you will. Take a look at price along the inside axis, much stronger than it was on its A to B move. And that said it was going to do more than a 1-to-1, most likely a 1 to 1.272. Of course, it did not want to disappoint. It wanted to go the full way, and it did a 1 to 1.618. And then all it did was it just simply moved sideways from the February 23rd time frame, and it moved sideways really up until Friday. Not enough time to build up a ton of energy, but certainly this thing is now taking on its all-time high out there, and it's got some juice. You may want to put this, if you are a momentum trader and you are a breakout trader, you may want to put this one on your charts here. Why? Why would you do that? Well, number one, if we go take a look at the Gartley pattern that it did set up here, we would go from the highs of May the 31st. We would go down to the low of September 22nd. And you can see as it was making that 1 to 1.618, it was also a 0.786 retracement. So that, folks, is really where you've got beautiful sacred geometry. Let's go ahead and draw that pattern in so you can see that colorful butterfly as soon as I find that tool. Okay, let's get that tool. Let's take that out of its shed this morning, and we're going to draw that 1 to 1.618, A to B equals C to D. There she is. And so you had a 1 to 1.618, ABCD. You've got a 0.786 Gartley cell pattern. And when those things get broken, what happens, folks? They turn into butterflies. And when you take a look at the butterfly pattern on this, let's just go ahead and shrink this chart down. The price projection on that would be the 1.272. That would be 85.76. And, oh, wait a minute here. This thing gapped up to 80. What the heck? Let me see here. Oh, you know what, folks? I was looking at the wrong candle. How about that? How could you let me go on like that? Look at this thing. This thing gapped up this morning. I was looking at this bar right here from March the 16th. Sorry about that. Look at this thing is trading out at 84.24. This thing really gapped up. And when we take a look at where did that gap up to, it looks like probably the 1.618 area. 1.272. So let's start over here. Let's do a quick rewind if we can. Can't do a rewind, but we can start over here. So this thing has gapped up largely this morning on volume, and where it's gapping up to is the butterfly pattern. Now that butterfly pattern, folks, here, let's take a look at this. This butterfly pattern, what we're going to do is we're going to go from the swing point high that was made out here that we were looking at on May the 31st. So that is going to be the spot where we start. We're going to go all the way down to the lows out here from September the 22nd. Is that right? September the 22nd. Now, what you're looking for is an expansion. The 1.272 you see comes right in here at 85.76. You know, you're trading out at 84.24. Was this not just a buyout? Pending acquisition. Let's see here. Yeah, it does look like it's pending acquisition. That's why we're not seeing any movement here. So let's skip above net because it's got me above water, if you will. Let's go take a look at F5 networks. F5 trading up 2%. FFIV. Let's take a look at that. FFIV, see what that is going against. If I get my keyboard here working. Okay, there we go. We got F5 networks. They're trading out at 134.85. That is up 2%. And let's go see what F5 networks is going against. F5 networks is trying to get into where it gapped down. Take a look at this gap down. Let's see the volume. So when you did gap down in F5 networks, you did it on January 20th. You did it with 23 million shares. And you take a look at the prior session before that, you had 7.3 million. The low on that gap, which is being closed this morning, was 106.10. Now, is that possible? How about this? 135.60. You knew 106.10 was right. 135.60. You're trading out 134.86. Looks like at or near its session highs. 135 is the exact session high. And so it is going to try to get into that area. Now, the question is, will it close inside there? You've got 7.3 million shares. Let's take a look at ABC patterns that are out here. And it looks like you've got a doozy. That ABC pattern starting out on October the 3rd. The low out there is $69.60. It makes a run up to its B point, which I take a look at being December the 5th, 2011. Got up to a price point of $117.30. Then it retraces down into the, looks like either December 21st, that was $99.59. Let's go over just slightly, $99.60. So you could use either one, January 4th or the actual low, which was $99.59 on December 21st. Now you take a look at that A to B equals C to D. Look at that retracement. Not a very significant retracement. Looks to me like a 0.382. Let's go measure that exactly. And it is a 0.382. The 0.382 would have come in at 98.40, and we said it got down to a low of 99.59. So this has some additional strength in it. The completion of that A to B equals C to D, just a 1-to-1 would take it to 147.27. You can't see it is trading outside on the right side of that A to B equals C to D. So I would expect it only, even though we had a 0.382 retracement, I would expect it to give us a signal as far as what it's going to do when it gets up to that area, which would be its all-time highs. I believe we If we take this back, let me zoom this in on a monthly chart, make sure that that is correct, and it is. So it's making a 100% move that's F5 networks, the high out there, 145.76. And again, on the daily chart, when we take a look at that, you've got an A to B equals C to D at 147.17. And if we take a look at the volume as it passed the B point, let's see, did we have conviction as we passed that B point? Again, the B point being December the 5th, 2.2 million shares out there. Let's go take a look at that as we came through there. We're right down here. It's going to be easier if I draw this out here for you folks. Right down here. There we go. And when we came through the B point, look at that. So you come through the B point with a gap. Now, folks, there's conviction. Why? Because you've got wide price spread. And what you want to be able to do when you're taking a look at wide price spread here, I'm going to get rid of these Fibonacci numbers for us. You take a look at wide price spread, even though you just see this gap, you got to envision it in your mind as being filled in, if you will. So you gap up with volume. You take out the B point with 7 million shares. Again, that B point had 2.2 million shares. So you have a confirmed A to B equals C to D, taking up to 147.27. We've got the Dow down 4, S&P's up 2.5, Composite up 7. Small caps now leading the charge on the way up 0.28%, up $2.36. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back, folks.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective and maximize your returns. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Would you like to discover the next great tech stock? David White, TFNN's technology guru, has just launched his new newsletter, The Technology Insider. In his newsletter, David will be looking for those shining stars that may turn into the next Apple, Microsoft, or Cisco. David combines his technology background as a software programmer with his market skills as a successful professional trader to give you this unique newsletter. We're on the verge of the next great tech run. With the Technology Insider, you'll be in front of the run-up and not lagging behind. David is developing a long-term investment portfolio. Therefore, we're only offering the Technology Insider as an annual subscription with a remarkable price of only $395. That's right, for a little over $1 a day, you'll receive the fundamental technology wisdom and technical trading skills of the Technology Insider David White. What are you waiting for? Go to the front of TFNN.com, click on the link on the front page, sign up for your 2-week free trial, and become a Technology Insider today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
Hi folks, turns out my best student became my best teacher. Steve Rhodes absolutely raised my standards, and I'll guarantee he'll raise yours.
Thanks, Tom. What I've learned is that if you want more, you must become more. And that transformation, folks, that occurs the moment you decide to become a master. Now, the quickest way to mastery is through immersion. And for 2 solid days in Denver, Boston, and Tampa, I'll create a new standard of wealth for those few trader investors who have a burning desire to succeed. At my Master Trader course, I'll teach you how to create the ultimate money machine. These are the best kept secrets in the business. Roadblocks, folks. Dabblers give up when they first appear. Stressors last just a little bit longer, but masters expect roadblocks and achieve extraordinary results when they bust right through them. I have all the benefit of knowing the type of wealth creation that I can generate for you. You don't. That's why I'm making this unconditional money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're not satisfied with my Master Trader course, I'll refund every penny. That's right. I take all the risk, and you get all the benefit. Go to the homepage at tfnn.com and sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien and Steve Rhodes as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. The Money Masters, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. You got the Dow down 11 points, S&P's up 2.5, Composite up 9, small caps up 4.6, and Domino's Pizza. They got a little spicy pepperoni on their pizza this morning. They are not giving away pizzas because you've got what they are doing is, looks like they're talking about dividends. You have Domino's Pizza trading up. The ticker symbol on that is DPZ, trading up 3.8% out at 41.51. Where's that 41.51 area? And it did get up to a high so far this morning of, it looks pretty small on this screen here, but it did get up to 41.54. And at 41.99 is a 1.272 expansion, folks. Where's that expansion? That expansion is from the highs going back into April 2007, down into the lows of November of 2008. And this thing has been a little rocket ship. That is a beautiful thing there for Domino's Pizza. Let's take a look at the weekly. Now, what you've done here, you've got, this is its second most recent gap. You had a nice gap up on February 28th with some real conviction behind it. You had wide price spread. If you just take a look at that, if you even include the gap there, you have wide price spread and you have volume. You did 5.8 million shares. You've got another gap up this morning. This does have a few gaps, but what you'd be looking for potentially is a 3-gap play on this, with it making its next gap probably into the 1.618. But in this case here, what you have to be, this says to me it wants still higher price because you've gapped up into this 1.272 area, and that would be your D point. And you're always taking a look at when you're making these ABC D patterns, or in this case here, if you're making a butterfly pattern, because that's really what it is you're looking at. It'd be easier for me to draw that for you on the weekly chart, I would think. So let's do that. Be easy to follow along on TigerTV. And so if we do that, let's draw this in here. When you take a look at that pattern completion, what I was trying to let you know is that's pretty. Let me just make it like that. It's not the prettiest butterfly out there, too, by the way. Typically, you're going to see, when you take a look at butterflies or Gartleys, you're going to see a similar left wing and right wing, if you will. So it's kind of an ugly Gartley or butterfly pattern, I should say. What you do want to do, folks, is when you do gap up into the completion of any pattern, that is telling you that you've got higher price usually. So, you'd want to be careful. And I'm not suggesting that you short Domino's Pizza by any stretch of the imagination, just trying to be able to use that as an example for you, because it is a completion of a pattern. But what it says to me that what Domino's Pizza really wants is higher price. They want to add some mushrooms and some onions to that pepperoni pizza. And what they want to do is they want to get that pizza price on their stock up to the $53.27 range. That's Domino's Pizza. Let's go take a look at Sears Holdings. They are the leader on the way down this morning. Let's go take a look at that. They're down. When I say leader, I'm talking dollar-wise, if you will. And I'm allowed to say, if you will, every now and then. SHLD. And so we take a look at Sears Holding. Let's see, on Sears Holding, you're trading out at 81.02. Did this give us any signal on Friday? Not really, other than the signal that it completed a 1 to 1.618. A to B equals C to D. And look, folks, it does it, almost as it's beautiful. It looks like 8104 or so was the A to B equals C to D. Gets up to the high of 8590. 8304 was the 1 to 1.618. Folks, our time goes way, way too quick. But what you can do is you can stick around and you can watch the Money Masters. We got Tom O'Brien back in the seat. I'll be in the jump seat, folks. Thanks for being here. Have a great Monday morning. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp. Take care, folks.